What is up, Whale family? This is Nytmare bringing you Hang Time, where we talk NBA Top Shot, the market, fantasy basketball, and all things hoops and hype. And Roon, how hype are you this week with everything that went on in
Man,
sports?
it was a crazy, crazy week. Super hyped. It was nuts.
Yeah, and I said last week that the NBA season was in full swing, and I don't necessarily think I meant this, as
Yep.
most of you guys had seen last night.
Oh, good old Lebron.
There was a little bit of WWE action afterwards with these guys going after each other. I think in the broadcast really didn't show a ton of kind of what elicited this reaction, but a lot of detective work on YouTube did take care of that for us, as well as Twitter, right? So you can see a nasty elbow happen right here.
It's crazy because, like, from that viewpoint, it looks like it was just like a graze, but apparently it bloodied his nose enough.
Yeah, I mean, it was freaky. It was coming out of his mouth. It was
Yeah,
actually pretty pretty scary what it looked like. But they were
exactly.
at the end like he's gonna run through the other side of the tunnel like some wrestling action. So
Oh, yeah.
pretty
Yeah, it was
crazy.
unexpected, definitely. But yeah, I mean, he comes back. He comes back. Lakers finally get LeBron back, and then all of a sudden he's gone.
Yeah, yeah. At least there's some drama, right? Some people were saying it was getting a little boring. So, not the kind of drama we want, but at least there's vested interest in people caring about their product right now. When there was somewhat of a, I don't want to say a lull, but people were kind of not actively. They weren't as chipper as typical with regards to the teams and what was going on. So I like to see the players get invested and getting fired up. Not to that degree, but I do like to see that they're taking things personally and not just going through the motions. But speaking of the motions, tell me a little bit about this soccer highlight that you had sent me.
Yes. So okay. So there's the only thing special about this is that this kid is 18 years old. They took a chance on him, and he plays for Roma. They pass it over to him. This is his first goal right here. Pretty nice, really, really nice. He was actually, his coach said that he would buy him a set of professional sneakers if he got a goal, and he got a goal. So there is that. But that was pretty cool. But then the icing on the cake is at the I think it's a 7 minute and 15 second mark. That goal.
The 7 minute and 15. Yeah, here it comes. Here it comes. All right, check this out. Don't blink, people. It's just dirty. A really, really, really good goal. 18 years old. Happy for him.
Is, is that what you were doing at 18?
No, man, that's looking at these kids like, man, got their whole lives ahead of them.
Evidently, the audio is a little quirky, guys. If you can't hear what's going on, well, actually, I don't know how you'd be able to hear me telling you this, but Twitch obviously has a direct feed. So please check out Whale Community on Twitch, and you'll be able to see it without any hiccups here. I did want to show something else that you had sent over to me. Talk to me a little bit about this.
Oh, yes. Christian Pulisic. Now, that's another person at the age of 18 was playing professional. This is nuts. So he comes back, and we played it last week. He scores a goal coming off the bench after a massive injury and basically wins it. Throws US into the top of the bracket until Canada took it over. But he plays for Chelsea now, and the rumor is that Barcelona is looking to pick him up. I don't know. I don't think that they're going to be able to pull it off because they do have a limit on their spending because of some sanctions put against them. But that just the fact that Barcelona is potentially interested in Christian Pulisic is amazing. American, and just killing it right now in the sports world, and it just in the soccer world in general. He's from Hershey, Pennsylvania, and that's near where I grew up. So it's kind of cool seeing this. This is big news.
So, any implications for the U.S. men's team there?
Yeah, and so if on the U.S. men's national team side of things, the seasons in Spain compared to England are pretty much identical, which is really really good. The good thing about this move would be, I mean, it doesn't have any like massive direct ties because England does the same thing, but the only thing of concern was going to be when it was international duty time. So when the U.S. calls him up to play either practice matches or World Cup qualifying matches, which are what's going on right now, that he wouldn't be able to come because it would be during the season, and that kind of puts a hamper on things. But most teams are really good about letting their players go on international duty. In Spain, they shut down when it's international duty time. Every team is off. No games are being played. Anyone who's playing for their national team is able to play it with no issues.
Interesting. I'm glad I have you on board to keep us abreast of this. I know that there's a lot of movement as far as NFTs being set up specific to football. Anything that you're collecting or keeping your eye on?
I'm still waiting for that Top Shots type highlights highlight NFT from the international football world. But I've been looking at So Rare and thinking about pulling that up. I'm not a real big fantasy player. I do play it. I have played it in the past. It was always just really time consuming for me. So with So Rare is kind of like that. It wasn't really a big draw for me at first, but now I'm basically FOMOing in and am looking at some people that I really like. But I know it's going to cost me a fortune to potentially get them.
Interesting. Have you dabbled at all with the stuff they do over at Chili's and Socios? I know they have a lot of fan
No,
tokens and whatnot.
no, I have to take a look at that. I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, and I honestly don't know all the mechanics.
Yeah, definitely.
I honestly don't know all the mechanics, man. My phone just went off in the middle of this. But I did want to show you something that I thought was cool. I don't know if you saw this with UNH in the NCAA tournament over the past weekend, but this bicycle kick was awesome.
Ooh. Oh, those are so good. It takes so much. It takes so much effort and skill to be able to pull that off. And people think that okay, they just like basically fell down and they got lucky. I trust me, I've tried a bicycle kick. It is scary to do, and you have to time that perfectly. And that's a great goal.
Yeah, I can't say that I've ever tried a bicycle kick, although I have done the motion when trying to dunk on a small hoop and not realizing that there was ice on the rim, and
Oh,
basically did the same thing and pancaked on my back. So,
oh,
an athletic equivalent, maybe not, but similar emotion.
that's definitely a highlight reel moment right there for top fails.
Yes, it was. So let's talk about the market real quick. Evaluate market is working. I thought I broke it briefly there. So we're still at that $800,000 mark, which is about where we were last week. A slight bump. All metrics continue to be down and suppressed after what we had seen last week. Although week to week it's relatively the same. But this was quite a drop when we took a look at it last week.
Mhm.
Base Series 1 continued to decline, interestingly, while Series 2 is relatively flat. And I don't know if that has to do with people trying to, reposition themselves with what they think is going on with Top Shot and trying to just kind of align their portfolio. I know a lot of people are talking about, hey, it's time to get out of some of these commons, trying to take advantage of people looking to get trade tickets, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But the market continues to be slightly suppressed, not as suppressed as it was back here, right? So
Yeah,
back prior to August, it was at a different level. We're significantly higher than that, but we're not at this peak that we were just recently.
yeah. And again, this was recent. Those were recent peaks. I mean, just like anything else, it's a good old roller coaster ride.
Yep, and then the whale vault continues to be at about $30 million. Evaluate market actually pegs us at about $36 million, down slightly versus last week, although still a healthy
Yeah.
1.1 million% ROI.
Yeah, I
So
think it's quite healthy.
we're still in decent condition there. Those two moments that I've been kind of eyeballing to kind of gauge the market in my own anecdotal way, you know, that Jokic is now at $88. That's stable. The Halliburton continues to slide, and there's different reasons for that, but that's about $235. So if you bought that at the peak near 400, you're definitely feeling some hurt there, but maybe it's opportunistic if you want to get in.
Especially those badges.
Yes, indeed. That's what's attractive in this for me. So let's talk about this week. Actually, tomorrow we have another drop for base set series 3. This is release number 3. You guys saw me rip a bunch last week and got a bunch of tickets, quite honestly. But with this release, we have some interesting moments that are coming out, right? There's a new jaw that's limited edition, I think 10,000 mint. Also, you know, the debut of Raptors rookie Scotty Barnes is going to be in this.
Yes.
So if that's something you're hunting for, that's definitely an opportunity. So this is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. About 250,000 are available. And same thing, you can get 10 packs per person, but you can only get 5 at a time. So mercifully, maybe they're going to hold you back from being able to buy 10 at once. $9. So same deal as last week. Only, you know, if you're hunting for that Scotty or that Ja and some of the other people, I think there's a Trey Young in there. There's a Bam. So there's a couple of moments that you might be hunting. This is tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, and it's good that it's on a Tuesday, especially with the holiday here in the States. This will be interesting to see how this line queues up. I'm sure it'll be huge, just like normal, but you know.
Are you gonna hop in there, Roon?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna probably plug away 2 packs. That's about it. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely get in there. I'm still upset about a little thing that they announced today that I don't think will ever be obtainable by me. So
Yeah, let's get to that in a moment. But before we do, the Series 1 reserve packs were announced for the 30th, right? So finally, they're opening up the vault and people can go and scoop those.
Yeah.
November 30th, there's 4 moments in the pack, only 500 packs available. Requires a meager 350 trade tickets. What do you think of that, Roon?
I got one ticket. And I can't imagine having 350 of them. I mean, yeah, that's good and bad. It'll be interesting to see, but you know, I don't want it to be all about the whales. You know what I mean? And I don't.
It's bananas, dude. Like 350 trade tickets at $2 or $3 floor, which is what it is right now, right? $2 or $3 for the floor. You're talking a significant investment to get in this, and there's potential that you can't even, turn positive with what you get on returns. But forget that for a moment. Say you just didn't care and you were willing to roll the dice. We have some people within our community that said, "Okay, we're going to set out to do this." It was going to take them hours upon hours to even make, a fractional dent in being able to accumulate that many. So it wasn't possible for most people, let alone from a financial perspective, just from a time investment.
Exactly, and that's one of the things that I mean. The good thing is that Top Shots they definitely course correct themselves, but I really wish that they would see up front the impact. It's everyone wants a chance. Everyone wants a chance, and if you deny that chance, people are just going to get upset and leave. And they'll change that next time. It will not be that high.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They have a lot of concern with people in the Nine Lives Lounge saying, hey, how do we get some more perks and what are we going to do to make sure that there's value for these people that have invested? And I certainly understand that, right? But the tough juxtaposition is how do you, how do you equivalize this so it's not just the rich getting richer, right? The people that are already in good position being able to capitalize and no one else able to get into that circle. Even though there were people that were willing to participate, they weren't really able to do it. So we'll see. I think they gamify this a little bit, and the next iteration may have a whole different set of qualifiers to jump through. But hopefully, like you said, they continue to tweak. So we'll see what happens.
Exactly. I mean, real quick on this note. I mean, Raki did actually no, it was GB that said it. 350 around $2 floor, $700. It's nuts. Cause I mean, I was lucky and I had a first series Zion Williams that I this was like me early in my crypto, before I knew about hodling or anything. I just happened to unpack a Zion and I was like, let me throw it up here. Let me see how much I can get for it. And I just threw out a ridiculous number. It sold. It sold. And
What was it? What was the ridiculous number though? I'm curious.
2,500.
Nice.
Yeah, and I said, this is awesome. But I'm sitting here thinking about it. I'm like, if I take that money, I would literally have to reinvest into a bunch of cards that I'm literally just willing to throw away. Like I would have to go back to the market, buy a bunch of cards just to get tickets. You know what I mean? And of course, you would be looking for the lowest price cards, but I mean, that's just, I don't know. I don't see, other than Wales having a chance at this, I don't see how they're going to keep this up.
Well, I mean, maybe it's not intended, right? Maybe, people new coming to the platform are happy with Series 3. I don't, when we used to collect regular, cardboard, I didn't go and say I'm only going to get it, the first edition pack.
Exactly.
That would cost me a premium and it wouldn't be easy to do.
No.
So, I can understand both sides of the coin, but it was definitely not the reaction I anticipated when it launched. I thought there'd be a lot more excitement around it. Instead, there's a lot of, man, this is not obtainable, so this is frustrating. But on to the next thing, which you had just mentioned. They did announce a new Vintage Vibes Showcase Challenge for your man, Allen Iverson. How hyped were you when you saw that? And then how bummed were you when you saw the requirements?
So I just happened to look in Discord and saw the good old number 1 over there by NBA Top Shots and opened it up and saw 76. And I was like, oh, and then I saw Allen Iverson and I was like, oh my God, yes. And then I was super hyped and I was like, okay, I know without even looking at the requirements, I don't meet the requirements. I knew right away. And I'm like, okay, but I could probably buy my way in. And then I looked at the requirements and then I went to the marketplace and I said, nope, the requirements for just at least the first 2, I was looking at spending well over $1,000. And I was like, no, this sucks. Like I know there'll be more chances. I know there'll be more time, but that hype and then let down, oh, it hurt.
Yeah, so you need 5 archive set layups, 2 run it back layups, 2 run it back point guards, and 1 rare 76er, I believe. Yep. So not an easy thing to just have laying around in your collection if you're not the most ardent, well-pocketed Sixers fan here that's been collecting for a long time. And much like the Shaq challenge, did you see the Shaq? I think it ended up minting like 800 total mints.
Oh, wow.
And that had, a ridiculous set of requirements as well. That was pretty tough to get. And that was a dope moment, although there are 3 Shaqs. Right. Yeah, so you had other opportunities to scoop a Shaq. Maybe that played a role there. But, hopefully they continue to mix this up a little bit and provide different opportunities for people to get in different ways and not just keep raising the tiers of what you need to have.
Exactly. If you get a run it back series, I'm still waiting for that run it back series for the 1996 playoff run. So you get some Michael Jordans and, oh my God, I can't imagine a Michael Jordan moment. Jeez. But I mean, having like things like that, or even like a 2000 throw it back in the NBA finals with the Lakers versus Sixers. That's the stuff I'm waiting for, where it'll probably be $50 a pack, but at least I have a better chance at it than this.
I guess because of the way we started the show, it made me think of this, but I am pretty hyped at the prospect of WWE coming out with their classic run it back packs, whatever that ends up being in whatever type of format. But when I can get a Hogan Andre or a Warrior Hogan or something crazy, right? 4 Horsemen, that's going to be bananas. But I digress. Back to sports and back to Top Shot. The Flash Challenge. What were your thoughts on these Flash challenges? I think they're cool in that you can kind of quickly, take part, and it's kind of driving some unexpected market sales, right? Like they can't predict who the top scorers or assist leaders, and that can change every night, and that kind of leads to market movement that's unanticipated.
I think this stuff I like this stuff right here, especially this time of year that they announced that they started doing it. It's great. I mean, you look at the flash sales that are going to be coming on your other, places like Amazon.com and stuff like that. And, after the holidays, but the fact that they throw out this stuff right here and then they get you to watch and root real, as much as possible for, the teams that you're hoping to get. But the flash sales they're good. I like them a lot.
Yeah, these Flash challenges are interesting. I think it's driving a lot of movement. So we see a lot of moments that spike briefly to really high levels and then fall back down. And there's some discussion on, hey, whether or not that's healthy, right? Like, is that good for the marketplace and people that are holding or not? Like, that's to be seen, I think. But it's cool that they're coming out with new gamification and stuff like that. So I'm glad to see it.
It's something to look forward to.
Yep. And what do we got here? AFC, I don't know how this got in here. The new AFC standings of the NFL. Sorry, guys. I was looking at something else.
You're going to have to go down to NFC East now.
Okay.
Darn. I haven't looked at the standings. And after the Cowboys game yesterday and the Eagles game yesterday, I was, well, especially with the Eagles, I was stoked. Jalen Hurts was amazing. But yeah, I'm still surprised by those Pats up there. But I don't like the first place team in the East. Yeah, I hate them.
Yeah, that's a long-standing thing. What's up with that lady? You guys got a new mascot? She was yelling at the team or something? Do you know what I'm talking about there?
Yeah, I didn't get to catch the details on it, but I heard something about it because my mom's visiting from the area and she was telling me about it because she got a nice laugh out of it. So
yeah, that woman's the new infamous NFL meme. So props to her. Shout out to the screaming lady in Philly.
Yep.
I did find this interesting. David Ortiz, Big Papi, and Alex Rodriguez going in on the ballot at the same time, and A-Rod getting some support from David Ortiz, saying he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. So we'll see how that shakes out. We also have the last appearance for a couple of players as well, I think, that were part of the steroids era. So interesting to see how this plays out. What do you think happens?
So if you scroll down a little bit, there's a very special name on that list. Actually, at the very first. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. Ballot along with Kurt Schilling, which nope, that's not the one I was talking about. I thought I saw it. Maybe scroll up just a little bit more. There it is. Hall of Fame. Okay, Ryan Howard. That's who I'm rooting for. That is my guy. I actually had the pleasure of meeting him and getting a baseball signed by him, and he actually talked to my son my oldest son when he was little, and I got some good pictures with him. I'll have to show it to you offline. But yeah, I got Ryan Howard is my choice, but I know he's got a long shot to take that.
Yeah, well, he got a couple of chances in there, right, as well. So who knows? But interesting dynamic to see how this plays out for sure. Yep. One other thing I did want to make mention, I did try to shake down Rude Moose like I do weekly, and not much new, although I think there was some talk of some alpha emails going out and some movement happening with the NFL on Dapper. So, we're heading into week 11, right? And they did say that the product will launch this season. So maybe they mean maybe they mean before the playoffs end. I don't know, which could extend us out into 2022 early, but we will see something soon, I hope.
I actually am thinking it's going to be postseason. I think it's going to be. I have a thought that it might be Super Bowl related, but that's just a thought.
Yeah, it's just wild speculation from you, Roon, or you got some inside info. Let us know what's going on here.
Total speculation. I literally right on the spot just made that up.
All right. I like it. What else anything else happen this past week that we're not covering? I know Roham's Q&A where, he was kind of taking a lot of questions and kind of got backed into a bit of a corner answering to some people that basically said, hey, we've made this investment. What are you doing for us? So a lot of the reiteration of things we knew were in the pipeline, they confirmed, they talked about merch. They talked about mobile being big. They talked about the rake back finally being confirmed again. So a lot of stuff to come from that in the near future. He was receptive to some ideas from the community and feedback. And I had also seen over the past week, people calling him out and saying, hey, Top Shot has a problem. I have some ideas. Listen to me. And he basically said, shoot me a DM. It's open. Let's have the conversation. So hopefully some good stuff comes of that. And, we'll see some community driven change getting to what the greater, Top Shot community and collectors want.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it'll go that route also. And, looking forward to seeing how that pans out.
So they're having some trouble with bots in the chat. And interestingly, hey, I did want to make mention, we talked about the Hot Wheels drop that happened this past week on Wax during our last hang time, and I saw a really cool thing. So in our general chat, Squirter John popped up and said he bought his very first NFT a few days ago, and he opened the Hot Wheels pack and got the rarest of rare, the Bone Shaker Rare, Series 1, serial number 420 of all of them, right?
Yep, and that made it. That made it. When I looked at at first I was like super stoked, but then I was like, oh no, 420. Nice.
Yes, and it's hard to pin a number on it, but I know the absolute junk floor on that rare when I looked a day or two ago was like $1,200, right? And so some of the more desirable numbers were like some of the more desirable serials were like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. So awesome pull by Squirter John. Hopefully, maybe some of the links that we dropped in Whale or talked about on Hang Time helped you get there. Maybe not, but let's throw up a couple of Joe Boos and say it was the mojo that helped get him there. But props to you, Squirter John. That's awesome.
Seriously, Squirter John. I mean, for your very first NFT, great job. Great job.
It's gonna be like I brought my wife to the casino for the very first time, and she was very like anti-casino at some point, right? This is when we were dating in our 20s, and she was like, why do you go there? Like, I don't like messing with money and having it at risk. I'm like, come on, it's fun. And so I sit her down at a slot machine and I go, look, this is what you do. You take a $20 bill, you put it in, you hit this thing, you hit the spin the wheel, and you get the wheel of fortune. So as I'm saying this, sure enough, it happens. It spins the wheel. We hit the jackpot, $500. So she's absolutely hyped, right? She's so amped. And then like every day, after she's like, let's go to the casino. Let's go to the casino.
Yep.
So
you got to do that.
Yeah. So it created a monster. So Squirter John, you're not always going to pull like that, but I hope you continue to have a lot of them sprinkled in.
Exactly. That's awesome.
And then I just wanted to call out the Pick'em group for tonight. Good luck in tonight's games, everyone. Dominic W. heading up top with Johnny Cashout. Rads is breathing down their neck as usual. 1 Cent Collector, HF, Esoteric, Springles is up there, SGS Baller, and what? There's a new name in there, Roon. What's happening? You hop on the stream and all of a sudden you're a mastermind when it comes to the Pick'em.
I didn't even know that. Yeah, this is news to me. That's awesome. It was a very weird weekend for football as well, and I have a very weird feeling that tonight's going to be weird as well.
Okay. All right. Like if this comes true, then, I'm going to go get myself ready for NFL Dapper to launch during the Super Bowl, because you seem to be wearing your Magic Genie hat this week and are pulling things out of it. So props to you, Roon. Good luck. Good luck to all of the entrants. Also, I saw that Rads has posted up the link for tonight's prop bets. I haven't been able to peel myself away from the desk over there doing lots of initiatives. So thanks to our crew that's been putting together our gamification for NFL the whole season. I owe them a ton of gratitude, and I'm sure the community does as well. Coincidentally, they're also all absolute sharks when it comes to doing pick'ems and prop bets, and have won quite a bit themselves. So these guys are monsters, and I'm glad to have them on our squad.
Definitely, and I always laugh when I see that fighting Irish in the parentheses, because I know exactly who made it.
Yes, Notre Dame is definitely well supported by our community via Rads. Although I got to say, growing up here, like, I don't know if it's like that where you are in Vermont. It's a little bit removed, but over here by Boston, there was a ton of Notre Dame fans, like when I was growing up, and even to this day.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you a little story. It's real quick, but I was, of course, I lived in Delaware, so I lived in the Philly area for a while. But so I followed University of Delaware, so I went to their football games a lot. And I actually took my oldest son when he was probably 2 years old to his first game, and a very well-known person. I guess he's kind of well-known. His was quarterback of University of Delaware at the time by the name of Joe Flacco. And so I got to see him play all through his college life after he transferred into U of D. But the really cool thing afterwards was they would walk out, you'd be able to talk to them and see them, and my son ran up to Joe Flacco while we were walking out, and he's like, I loved how far you threw that ball. He grabbed, he's like, is it all right if I pick him up? I'm like, yeah. He picked him up, sat him on his knee and said, did you like that? And he said, yeah. He's like, you want to do that? He's like, yeah, how do I do it? He's like, work, the classic work hard, practice every day, do well in school, that type of things. But he was super, super nice to him. And, I got to shake his hands afterwards. Little did I know about 5 or 6 years later that I had shaken hands once with a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, that's interesting because his demeanor seems a little bit more aloof, right, when you see him on the field. So that's a cool story. I love hearing that what we're seeing is their competitive fire and they're very personable. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I have a special treat for you guys. I've been promising it for weeks. I finally went and dug it out, and we have the Nyt Cam ready. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
If I can make this work, I pulled that random stack of cards that I had traded when I was like young, like 13 years, whatever I was, 11 years old. I was young with all the bigger kids in my neighborhood. I'm sure I got fleeced, but I got a ton left. So I pulled them out of the shoebox. I very briefly looked at them. I had to pull one out that was me. I had drawn myself into a basketball card because I was so into it at the time, thinking I was going to actually do something with it. But we have this stack of cards. So I'll go through them with you. We'll take a look, see what I was collecting, see if any of it has any value now or just get a couple laughs out of things I thought might be valuable that I was saving. All right, everyone. Thank you for hanging with us in Hang Time Room. Thanks for hanging with me and giving us a little bit of commentary on the cards and moments. We'll see what happens. If I find out any of them are awesome, I'll let you guys know. I'm sure you'll be as excited as you were listening to my feedback. But have a great week, everyone. Whatever you're collecting, Chain Guardians. I know there's a lot of Cryptoys. There's a lot of people that are scooping their monkeys because they had Galactic Apes. Good luck to you this week, and have a great holiday if you celebrate.
Definitely have a good one, everyone.